What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tones Overthinks It, the show where I think too much to make up for the people who don't think at all. And welcome to another edition of TLDR. So today we're going to be discussing some very recent and much needed good news, as well as the broader implications said news has. So for the first good news, let's start with a little flashback.
Anything you want to say to the people since you just took the ride and got
Thanks
arrested?
for coming here, guys, and supporting us as a community. And I told you guys that we're going to go in here and we're going to do this because I'm here for you guys, man. This is our channel as a community. And when we come together and unite, this is how we affect change, guys. This is going to be something that's going to be a staple in being able to come in here, guys. We're trying to create case law here.
And case law thou certainly did create, because as of today, U.S. versus Cordova is now official, as Denver Metro Audit's attempt to appeal and overturn his conviction has been denied. On October 22nd of this year, Denver Metro Audits will have to surrender himself to begin serving a 15-day sentence in federal prison. On top of that, he will also get 2 years of probation, a $5,000 fine, and my particularly favorite part of this sentence, he has to get a job. And when you're an overgrown, narcissistic man-child obsessed with social media clout and have a profound hatred of the very idea of being subordinate to anyone but yourself, that sentence is absolutely painful. So I could speak volumes about how nice it is to know that at least for those 15 days he'll be in federal prison, and possibly those 2 years if he's not stupid enough to try and risk getting his probation revoked, though personally I'd give 3-to-1 odds that he is, that YouTube will be slightly less cringe as a result of there being no DMA going to city council meetings to whine and complain, no audits of public libraries demanding he have the right to watch porn in them, and whatever else he has chosen to squander his finite and undoubtedly worthless existence on. No, today the topic is going to be about legacy. For you see, DMA thought that his trial would be a pulpit upon which to try to create change. And specifically that change was give him and other frauditors free rein to bully the people they want to bully in the Social Security Administration. I don't know, some people do needlepoint, other people take up crack cocaine, whatever passes the time, I suppose. But not only did he fail to do this, but what he accomplished was in the complete opposite direction. Because his case, U.S. versus Cordova, is now case law. It is official. It is something that can be referenced in any future frauditor's trial. It definitively proves that what Cordova and any other frauditor has ever done in a Social Security Administrative Office or any equivalent is a crime and not protected under the Constitution. What may sting even more for him is that if he actually has the sense to not violate his probation, we may not see him again, or at the very least not see him operating at the same level that he was before, for at least 2 years. I mean, he's probably going to take a step back or, stick to just doing stuff on live chats, not going out and risking getting arrested, unless he really is that stupid, but again, I wouldn't put it past him. But otherwise, probably just fade into obscurity, probably showing up at people's comment sections just to remind everyone he exists and to whine and complain and say whatever he wants to say and then duck out as soon as he gets butthurt over an answer he doesn't like. Basically, another rogue nation. All the while, U.S. versus Cordova is going to pop up a lot. People are going to remember this case. It's going to be referenced everywhere that a frauditor is involved, and could very well lead to other frauditors not getting off as easily as they used to. And that's DMA's legacy. All his hard work, everything he sacrificed, the future he completely destroyed for himself, and this is what he gets. And remember, one of the conditions of his sentence is he has to go out and find a job. So think about how this is going to follow him to every single prospective employer he meets. He's going to have to disclose, or at the very least try to lie, about being a convicted criminal. And at the moment a prospective employer sees any of his videos, and sees how often he acts like a colossal dick towards people in authority, as well as towards low-level employees and members of the public, I don't see them being eager to offer him a position. So yeah, DMA's now going to have to grow old with fewer opportunities and fewer prospects in his life because of these poor decisions. And speaking of poor decisions having consequences, the second good news that we've heard today. So in a previous video, I mentioned Impact Media and his gang of frauditors, or as I like to refer to them as the contents of a dumpster found behind a Spirit Halloween store, who I described as some of the most violent frauditors whose content is difficult to watch at best, recently caused a major incident at a post office in Brentwood in which 3 of them proceeded to beat up and stomp on an elderly person. The video footage they took from their perspective of the incident, their commentary, as well as the comments of their followers is what inspired me to make a previous video asking the question, what line do these guys have to cross for their followers to give anything less than their undying loyalty? Well, fortunately it seems that at least someone out there feels that these guys have crossed a line, because it was announced today that all 3 frauditors involved in the incident are being charged with felony battery with serious bodily injury. Pretty sure that doesn't qualify as a constitutionally protected activity. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, as there are plenty of videos out there that do a far better job and kept more track of this incident and these particular characters more than I have, but from what I've gathered, these guys don't exactly have solid financial resources, which means either they're going to have to go it pro se, or they're going to have to just rely on a public defender. They can't approach this with the same level of zeal and optimism that, say, Long Island Audits or even DMA had. This incident made the news, it was seen by a lot of people, and no matter how much mental gymnastics they try to perform in order to spin this, it's painfully obvious that the moment a jury even watches one of their other videos, they are going to be absolutely screwed. Now, whether they're stupid enough to ride this out all the way to a verdict and get convicted, or just plead down the charges for a lighter sentence just to make it go away, the damage is already done. Like DMA, this is going to follow these guys. If in fact their days as frauditors are numbered and they have to move on and try to become functioning members of society, it's going to be a lot harder with felony convictions. I mean, being a convicted felon is no laughing matter, and it costs you a lot. There's certain freedoms these guys may never be able to enjoy once they're convicted felons. There are certain prospects that may be closed to them once they're convicted felons. And like with DMA, there are broader implications here. This incident has shown that frauditing is not just an annoying social media stunt. Any other frauditor out there who pretty much abandons all pretense of this being some kind of serious journalism or activism and tries to dress this up with theatrics, silly costumes, adopting unusual caricatures or personas, looking at you, flex your freedoms. Now suddenly, any frauditor who has this gimmick, people are going to be paying much more attention to with the concern of whether or not they will be the next one to suddenly beat up a senior citizen. And that is the legacy that these guys have now left. Up until now, we have known frauditors to be mostly cowards and professional victims, certainly claiming that an act of violence has been committed against them if there's so much as a stray breeze, but never actually carrying out acts of violence against innocent people. Well, now, thanks to Impact Media, all bets are off. When frauditors decide to be aggressive, be all posturing and threatening, people may not just sit back and take the abuse or wait for something to happen, and law enforcement may not be so quickly dismissive of them. Impact Media may have elevated the frauditor community on the same level as violent gangs or domestic terrorists even. So that is the legacy that frauditors have to be proud of. They do more damage to their own cause than they do in the furtherance of it. They get to be remembered as the guys who took it one step too far and effectively screwed it up for everybody else. Not that I would shed any tears over that, mind you. But at the end of the day, not only did these guys potentially end their frauditing career on a disgraceful note, they can now only sit by on the sidelines and watch as their actions could very well bring about the downfall of the entire practice. And everyone will know who to thank for it. But then again, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what you see here and you want to see even more in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, feel free to share your thoughts down in the comment section. I always love to read them. Till next time.